Who looks outside dreams. Who looks inside awakens. Carl Gustav Jung. Here we are in 2021. I'm recording this video for you in the middle of August. We're coming out of that Lion's Gate portal and moving into the Aquarius blue moon at 29th degrees, opposing the Leo sun at 29th degrees. And we've had such intense squares this year, particularly between Saturn and Uranus and Eris and Pluto. And this square frequency is moving through all of 2021. There is a great amount of turbulence. There is much upheaval. Everything feels like we've been emptied into a blender and it's been turned on to high speed. And with this turbulent frequency, we're being asked to go deeper, to go within, to look inside more than ever before. And as we go inward, we actually create the signature of that collective awakening that we're desiring. This is a challenging time. It feels so hard to make simple plans, let alone far out plans. And there's a lot of fear, a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of frustration around travel and whether it's safe or not, and the unknown, and just all of the things. And with that, we have come to a place that we know how precious life is and that we cannot take anything for granted. And we're at a time and space where when an opportunity presents itself, it is really important to seize the day, seize the moment, if that is an opportunity that calls to you, that speaks deeply to your soul's truth. So if we have a call, it is up to each one of us to answer that call. And with this, I wish to extend to you an invitation to pilgrim with me in Living Legacy, Rematrixing the Codes of Life, 3rd through 22nd. December 2021 in Kemet in Egypt. We are going to visit some of Egypt's most holiest sacred sites, including different temples and tombs around Luxor. We're going to dive deeply into our regenerative powers in the Siwa Oasis. We're going to merge with ancient bones over 45 million years old in the Fayum Oasis, the desert sands that Paulo Coelho was inspired to write The Alchemist. And we're going to traverse many different pyramids of Lower Egypt, including the Great Pyramids. And despite how intense and brutal these times feel, in many ways, this could be the perfect time to travel to Egypt. And in my opinion, it is such a divine time because less people are traveling worldwide, which means these spaces will have less tourists, which means there's more availability for a deeper connection and to really do profound work, not only with the temples and the sacred sites, but with the land itself and the spirits of the land and the elemental wisdom of Egypt. And because 2021 has been so incredibly intense, and because we're still peeling away massive layers of grief that surfaced for many of us in 2020, I believe we need personally and ancestrally and collectively a time and a space to refresh and to heal our nervous systems. As intense as the land of Egypt can be, what I have personally found in my multitude of journeys there is there's also a softness and a sweetness to this land. And it is my prayer that on this pilgrimage, we really invoke the softness and the sweetness so that we can have a sensation of a restoration of deep peace on our pilgrimage. And with that, there is an opportunity to draw deep upon the regenerative powers of water. Now, this is a water year from the Dendera cosmology, which one of my mentors, Elder Malidoma Somé, is from Dendera land, and he has taught much about these different elemental beings, and water is the element of rejuvenation and of masterful healing, and it is of great peace. And so to travel to Kemet at the tail end of 2021 to really call upon that signature of water into our lives, into our ancestral lineages, into the earth of Kemet itself, and to raise that vibration for all of Earth's consciousness feels incredibly important and essential work, soul purpose work to be doing in these times. Water moves and it clears grief. It transcends and transmutes grief. It literally rematrixes our bodies. We know that we're at least 70% water. It is likely we are way more than 70% water. And many of us know through the prayers and the power of chanting, speaking to water, affirming that we can hold vessels of water and ingest that and receive those codes within our body. And so imagine what we can do as a group of people going to different healing waters and to work consciously with the elemental of water to move through our bodies, but also to connect with the collective of Terra Gaia. This is immense work that needs to be done on the planet now. Now, in the Siwa Oasis, which is the Western Desert, it's near the border of Libya. It's a beautiful desert oasis. There's also some powerful temples there as well. And there are a multitude of healing waters, including Cleopatra's Spring, including these salt flats of Siwa, where you are swimming in some of the densest salt water I've ever been in my life. It's very similar to swimming at the Dead Sea. However, what I received in Siwa was a much different frequency. The Dead Sea is very grounding, and the salt in Siwa felt crystalline and very much like selenite, very purifying and clarifying and drawing upon many different layers upon layers of light codes. And there are also different hot springs to swim within as well. So there's this ability to really renew our innocence with this deep water healing in the Siwa Oasis particularly. And water is this beautiful element. It is yielding. It always gets to where it wants to go. Water can also tame fire. It can escape as steam and reform as desired. Water washes away earth, making it softer. And when confronted by mineral, by the stones, water always finds a way around the rocks. Water is able to corrode iron as it crumbles to dust, and water can also saturate the atmosphere so that wind will calm. Water gives way to the obstacles of life with great humility. And there is no power that can prevent water from flowing its destined course to the sea. Water conquers through peace as it never attacks, yet it will always win in the end. And I feel like this frequency is so important for us collectively in these times. How do we anchor deeper into our inner peace? And water is the gateway to experience that. This pilgrimage, living legacy, is also an opportunity to really honor and support the rise of the feminine. Across Earth, we have made steps forward in honoring women and women's empowerment. And at the same time, we can still witness that there's absolutely a war on the feminine power. Kemet culture has a long-standing history that demonstrates the power of the feminine. And very few cultures were able to maintain a matriarchal culture like ancient Egypt was. Now, many of us know Africa to be the motherland, and in turn, we can also say Kemet was known as the first state. This is where we get this concept of organized nation state. And it was always a mother-centered civilization that evolved from agrarian, sedentary societies that developed on the voluntary basis of coming together as cities, towns, and villages along the Nile River based on collective interest in supporting a national authority that could advance the fulfillment of their needs. We can connect to so many different ancient Egyptian goddesses that offer us transmissions of the divine feminine from the other world. And with that, we can look to the mythologies of Hathor, an ancient pre-dynastic goddess with roots in Nubia, Ma'at, the goddess of justice and social order, Neet, the hidden weaver goddess, Auset, the goddess, the giver of life, goddess of 10,000 names, Nut, the starry goddess who connects us to the ancestral realm, and so many more beautiful feminine goddesses you will come to meet on this pilgrimage. There are also many queens, including Ne Ma'at Hap, Nefertari, Nefertiti, Hatshepsut, and many others, and we will learn from their stories as a platform for our own reclamation. We are carrying the dreams of our mothers and our mothers' mothers' mothers. And with this, all of the mothers are embedded within the cells of our DNA. Every mother in our lineage, we inherit our pain, their pain, we inherit trauma, and we inherit this to heal and reclaim, to rematrix these codes of life, because we also inherit their talents, their gifts, their genius, a multitude of love, ancient love, primal love, ancient connection with Mother Earth, and a primal connection with Mother Earth. And I believe there's something very particular about traveling to Kemet that allows us to receive this wisdom. Now, this journey is not just an honoring of the feminine, it is also an honoring of the divine masculine. And through this sacred marriage of the divine feminine and the divine masculine, there's an opportunity to really explore and experience Hieros Gamos, this mystical marriage from deep within of the divine feminine and the divine masculine weaving together, meeting, unifying, alchemically transmuting, so that we can master the Osirian mysteries. Each temple in Egypt enacts a particular aspect of the archetypal journey of Osiris, Isis, Horus, Set, and Hathor. We are talking here about light conception, crucifixion, and resurrection. And as you most likely know, Egypt is absolutely a power portal. Kemet, which means black, is the honoring of the richness and vitality of the soil, the land of Egypt. Much of the ancient history of this land still remains within the veil of mystery. And on these pilgrimages that I facilitate, I believe we have an opportunity as we come with really grounded, anchored, open hearts, and we come with a desire to reclaim our innocence, that we're able to receive and listen from and to the land in a way that opens up new layers of wisdom and knowledge. Perhaps we could even say layers of wisdom and knowledge that we left behind in other incarnations. And so there's an opportunity that I've discovered in the 5 pilgrimages to Egypt that I've been on, that there is a very particular awakening beneath the soil of this land that goes deep into the core of Mother Earth. There's an awakening that is both ancient and future. And I believe this is a primordial power that connects to the galactic center, to the great attractor, to the great cosmic womb of all of the cosmic wombs that we know of through time and space in all of the galaxies. And we know the Golden Nile flows the same course as the Milky Way, much like as above, so below, written within the Emerald Tablet. The whole of Egypt is a map of the heavens, which was systematically laid out for any deceased pharaoh to be able to navigate their way through the Duat, the underworld, on the solar boat to higher realms. And as we can look at Egypt as the cradle of civilization, it is also, I like to call it as the capital of time bending, portal of portals, the space of the great mysteries, the ancient future landscape. And as you pilgrim in Kemet, you have this ability to really instill deep within your psyche pyramid consciousness. The pyramids, as we know them, are powerful and mysterious. The Great Pyramid is dated to around 2550 BCE. However, some researchers speculate that the pyramids and the Great Sphinx could be as old as 40,000 years old. The field of Egyptology classifies them as tombs, and it is true that the pyramids connect to the afterlife. However, the Great Pyramid is more than a space to connect to the afterlife. It is a star map, living and breathing sacred geometry, an amplifier of sound healing, and an amplifier of all and any given intentions of the crystalline people who walk within them. Crystalline meaning you, myself. We are living, walking, breathing crystals. We know that Ursa Major, Sirius, the Orion's Belt, and Draco all align with the shafts of light within the Great Pyramid itself. The pyramid is a solar calendar whose shadows mark the equinoxes and the solstices. And yes, we will be walking around the pyramid area on winter solstice itself. The Great Pyramid is deeply connected to pi, the number 3.14159, and phi, or phi, 1.61803, the golden ratio. This sacred geometry relates to the music of the spheres. I personally believe the Great Pyramid is a symbol in time and space to remind us of mathematical formulas, as math is a universal language and law. These formulas are actually codes for healing, codes that are transmitted through the sacred numbers, through sound currents, through light, through water. And this is why this pilgrimage is called Living Legacy, Rematrixing the Codes of Life. When exploring this space, the pyramid space, one has an uncanny ability to tap into their greater consciousness while simultaneously connecting with cosmic energy. Within the pyramid, one has an ability to connect to ancient vibrational technology, lost arts that we are so earnestly working to remember, to better understand cosmic energy, and to receive information regarding temple lives and ancient Egyptian knowledge. While considering the sacred geometry of the pyramid, if sound is consciously brought into that space, such as through gong, through crystal singing bowls, through mantra, through chanting, through prayer, through intention, real, lasting spiritual transformation is available. Although the emerald tablet is well known for as above, so below, there's a second essential piece that is often left out, known as below, so above. Our lives, our living legacy is a conversation with the multiverse. We are never locked into any given fate. We are here shape-shifting our lives as much as we are being molded by the cosmos herself, itself. The Great Pyramid is the holy of the holies within the brain, where enlightenment occurs, both in individual and planetary ascension chambers. Within the Great Pyramid, the King's Chamber, Great Resonance Chamber, is an ascension chamber, and within that, the sarcophagus connects to the pineal gland. And we will dive more into this sacred wisdom and knowledge within the pilgrimage and leading up to the pilgrimage. Now, I want to say that Egypt is all about activation. It is the transmitter and receiver for planet Earth. I believe it is a place of power for starseeds to align with their greatest intelligences. It is a powerful land connecting not only to the Great Pyramids and the Sphinx, but also to a myriad of well-known and lesser-known, perhaps even more significant temples. Each of these temples offer a unique field of activation, ranging from the divine mind to codes of infinity to divine love. These temples offer upgrades to the physical, the emotional, the psychic, spiritual, and other energetic bodies. One of the most profound ways to work with any temple is to move beyond the historical representations. My dear soul brother, Ahmed, who will be our guide, has taught me that instead of walking through the temple or any temple, to allow the temple to move through you. He stresses how these temples were made with pure love, and that I believe. This is an opportunity to activate within you royal courage and to not only culturally awaken to a new frequency, but to spiritually awaken. This is an opportunity for a quantum leap of your consciousness. With the great labor of love, my work has become a complete merging of my spiritual path with my soul path and my work path. They are intentionally woven together. And for me, this has required many leaps of great faith, and I have learned to fly by falling. I have invested in myself time and time again. And I'll admit to you, quite often it has felt terrifying. It has also felt electric. That which we believe in and stand for most must be where we spend our time, where we devote our sacred energy and also our money, our investment. And so I ask you, are you willing to invest in yourself? That is part of the royal courage that is being asked for and needed so most in these times. And so if you feel a call, an activation to this pilgrimage, I ask you to dive deep within yourself, to find your self-love and your self-worth, to know that you deserve and that you will awaken the possibility to be with us on this pilgrimage. With that, I would like to offer to you a simple prosperity ritual. And I'm going to invite you to locate a candle. Perhaps you'll want to do this with a full moon coming up. It can be a green or white candle, or any color if that's what you have. Any size will do. And if you feel comfortable, the next step is going to invoke the goddess Sekhmet. Sekhmet is the royal protector, the lady of flame, the great one of magic, the holy one, and the protectress of the divine order. She who generates Sekhmet, the ancient universal life force, which we know as Kundalini energy, is stirring within each one of us, deep in our bones. Sekhmet's heart melts away stagnations and poisons, offering healing intelligence to the spaces and places that need regeneration and warmth. Call forth Sekhmet to strategically purify the shadows of your consciousness, the shadows where you hold yourself back due to fear, where you are afraid to make the leap. Once you have named these spaces and called forth her flames of magic, so you're going to take your candle, hold it to your heart, use your voice, and speak that which you're purifying. The next step is to light your candle. Bless this candle. Visualize your ship sailing in with abundance of prosperity, the prosperity you need to make this quantum leap. See yourself in the royal courage at the helm of your ship, perhaps with Sekhmet and any other guides and guardians, ancestors, as allies at your side. And so I wish to invite you to join within Living Legacy, Rematrixing the Codes of Life. This curated experience has been crafted with your greatest safety in mind to support you to step into regenerative healing, anchoring to Great Mother Earth and these ancient spaces to move all of the shadow energies out and to integrate that which you have learned, that which you have mastered, so you can fully restore and restructure and resurrect yourself, so you can come back to your communities renewed and ready for what comes next, to meet 2022 and 2023 and 2024 head on with strength, with royal courage, and with resilience, because you are needed now more than ever before. We are going to visit so many amazing spaces, including El Kab, Hatshepsut Temple, Dendera, Abydos, Karnak, Sekhmet's Chapel, the Temple of Mut, Luxor Temple, the Isis Temple, Queen Nefertari's tomb, the Valley of the Kings, the Temple of the Oracle of Amun. On the Gemini Full Moon, we're going to have a private ceremony within the pause of the Sphinx and also a 2-hour immersion within the Great Pyramid. We will enjoy an exquisite sunrise hot air balloon adventure over Luxor. We are going to traverse into the Saqqara Step and Dahshur pyramids, the Fayum Whale desert. And there are other places we're going to traverse, healing waters. You will have a daily council held for you, a clear container of support for your exploration, stewarded by myself. In addition, a wellspring of ancient Egyptian wisdom and myth transmitted through Ahmed Khalifa. And you're going to be so well taken care of each step of the way. I guarantee you that to be true. I invest so much devotion into these pilgrimages. They are living, breathing prayer. And as we're leading up, we're going to have a couple of virtual councils to get aligned together. So when we begin, everyone's ready. You're going to have integration councils upon coming home so that you are able to integrate in a good, solid way. So if you're interested in joining, I know that all of the obstacles will be removed swiftly. I believe in that, and I believe in you. And I invite you to email me at support@earthseedtemplearts.com. Place Living Legacy in the subject, and I will email you the official invitation so you can read through everything. I'm available for a private 20-minute call if you have questions and you wish to discuss things one-on-one. And I will be there from the moment you commit to the pilgrimage until you're safely home and you're well integrated in your communities, to make sure that you have the support that you need, because this work is immense, and I know that it is, and I honor it for what it is. I wish you so much beauty and bounty, safety, health, vitality, wellness in these times. And I also pray that you are tapped into your great genius potential. And it is an honor and a privilege to share these pilgrimages with you. Blessed be.